Hey guys, Nick here. We're back with the brute force, doing a little bit of work to it. Flipped it over the other day, which didn't cause the problem, but it rolled, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna work on the front end a little bit. My shock bushings, the lower shock bushings, are notorious for going bad in these things. It's probably where you start getting some popping in your front end. You can feel the metal to metal. So we're gonna change those lower shock bushings. I've already pulled one out, so we're gonna show you how to pull the other one out, and then how to change the bushing out. And it should be a pretty quick process. And then we're going to follow up with a video. I think I'm going to change the belt on it too. So I got a new belt for it because the old one was squealing a tad bit. We're going to clean that up and change the belt. So probably want to break your lug nuts loose when the quad's on the ground. You can do that or hold the brake. But we'll just crack those loose real fast. Probably shouldn't be using this tool to do that, but it is what it is because I think they're pretty loose as it is. So. And then there's a couple washers. Pop those. That other one right here. So once you have that off, you got the brake on, but you got to basically pull out this bolt and the top bolt because, and I don't know if this will show you right now, but there's like, this one's not as bad as the other one, but you should be able to see that play in the, like the shock's not moving right now, and the control arm is. So definitely some play in this bushing. The top one feels fine, and the rest of them feel fine. Front to back is solid. This is the one that goes all the time. So on the lug nuts, you need a 17 millimeter and I think a 14 on these ones. So I'll get that. We'll get those loose. So break those loose first. Which that hose is pretty tight in the way there. Just break this top one. That one might be a knuckle buster. Put that in the tray. Get this bottom one out. This quad has like 3,000 miles on it. Just about 3,000, and I run it, so it's bound to go. But the rest of the suspension feels pretty tight. This side's maybe a little loose, maybe a little bit of play compared to the other side. But if you buy the whole bushing kit, you can change them all. As you can see in this is all loose and worn out. This top one's tight. So we're going to take this up to the bench. We'll show you what you got to do. So this is the one that we just pulled off with the right side. What I should do is mark those when you pull them out. You know, just put a little marker so you know which one's the left side and which one's the right. Other than that, this is what you got to do. This bushing, if it's shot, is just going to slide right out. And there's a good bit. You can see that's been wearing for a while. The other one, let me get you the other one for some comparison. This one's worn too. But if you look at those, I know there's some other videos out that show that they don't wear. This one here is really worn in on the bottom side from it hitting so often. So that's where the sound's coming from. Pull those out. Inside here, you have a rubber gasket on this side, and then a sleeve. In the new kit, we'll open the new kit up. You'll see the two rubber gaskets, the bushing itself, or maybe this is the bushing, but this is like the sleeve that goes down in the middle there first. So you want to get this cleaned up, probably put a little bit of grease in there, and then we'll pack this one into here, and then we'll get this other one torn apart as well, and we'll show you how to do that. And then I can go back in the quad. So it shouldn't be that hard to fix. It is a little bit of a pain to pry these out, and you might want to just try to knock it out with another socket. Use a really small screwdriver just to kind of get where it's to the ledge. And then once you have that kind of opened up and you're in the right spot, probably go to a little bit bigger of a screwdriver. And you want to kind of twist that out. It is really it is a pain, but we're gonna try to get that pulled out. There it is. So you can see that came out. Run your screwdriver along that ledge. Clean that out. Probably wire brush it. Got to do the same thing with the other side. And then if you look closely, right between here and here, there's that little sleeve. And we're going to pull that little sleeve out. Let's see if we can get this other side out just as easy. And I don't want to pop this screwdriver. You got to be careful, but here's the other one. So that's out. And once those two are out, like I said, clean this up. We'll wire brush it. Probably put a little bit of grease. Wow, there's like a piece stuck in here on this side from that sleeve. Looks like that sleeve wasn't maybe in there right from the factory. So now to get that sleeve out, you want to try to pry between it. And you can see it's starting to come out. If you have a better way to do this, let me know. But I think just getting it pried off, the best way then might be to get a socket. So I'm just going to hold on to this here. Get that in there. I got it rolled over now, so we might be able to make a little pry. There it is. So there you go. Just for me it was a 15 millimeter, and you can see that bushing that just came out. That's all she wrote. Now we'll clean that up. We'll pack the new ones together. This up a tad bit. Enough to get it warm, which is a little bit warmer. We're going to grab this out, one of these rings, out of the freezer. And then we're going to try to just get it as evened up as you can. And try to get that to seat right. This vise isn't exactly the best, but we're going to press this in there while we're trying to keep it even. And then once it gets to that point where you can't squeeze it anymore, we're going to switch gears here. I was going to use 2 quarters because quarters fit perfectly, but the 17 millimeter that you use to take off your lug nuts works pretty good too. So we're just going to back this out a little bit. Maybe for next one I'll have the vise and the workbench done. So use the back side of the socket. The hardest part about this is I don't have any socket glue. If I had socket glue, you could just glue it right to it and then tighten her down. So we'll try to get that in the rest of the way. Looks like it needs to be maybe just a tad further. We'll just give it a little. Yep. Perfect. Alright. So now we'll put these 2 new bushings in on each side. So here's the old one. Make sure you look at the way they came out. And usually you can tell from the side you tore it on. But those will just sit down right in here. So we'll do that after that cools just a tad. So I'm just going to clean that out real quick one more time. Make sure that there's nothing in there that's going to prevent the gasket from seating. push this in. Get a little bit of lube on that gasket. And then we'll just set that down in there as even as we can. And we'll use our little clamp here just to push that flat. And that one's in. That goes flat. Give you one more tap. Oh, a little too far. Back it on a little bit. That's about even. So now you got your bushing in there and your bushing in there. All good to go. So now we'll pop these back into the quad, and this job should be done. This aligned back in there. Probably could put some anti-seize on these, but for right now, we'll just put a little bit of some grease on those. Shouldn't hurt anything, especially since this quad spends a lot of its life in water and mud. So we get that boulder line there. These came out with the, oh, it looks like my light's going dead. So that's great. To get this one in there. Bolts face forward on these. So you might have to move your suspension a little bit, play around, so you can get that bolt through. There we go. Pop these nuts on. Get the top one on. Back to the 14 millimeter. Swap to this other one. Snug them down just a tad, and that ought to be good. That one's back together. Good old tire back on. Not too bad. Couple washers. Old lug nuts. Sucks I don't have a lot of space here. And I'll just snug these down as good as I can until I get it on the ground. It's an easy way to tie it up here. Need that 17 millimeter socket. Grab that real quick. Make sure this is even here. That's tight enough for now. I'll snug them up whenever we get to this back on the ground. But that's all. That's all you got to do. If you know any better ways, faster ways, let me know. But it works. That's about 3,000 miles in the Kawasaki, and those bushings were definitely shot. So probably have to do other ones down the road here. But appreciate everybody watching and staying subscribed. That's been pretty busy summer. Haven't had really a lot of time to do the videos that I've wanted to do, and I have a pile to edit. So we'll talk soon. Thanks again.